Many years ago, I stood in my kitchen feeling empty and depleted. I had been gaslit again by my business partner. My marriage was in the tanks. And there I was, feeling gutted, alone. It was so inconsistent with what you saw on the outside. By all appearances, I looked happy and successful. As a mother, a wife, a CEO, a scholarship athlete, a Pac-10 champion, a black belt, a mentor, an activist, I had learned how to be successful according to the expectations of society, my family, and others. Through these actions, I learned how to place everyone else's needs ahead of my own, all in the pursuit of success. My life had become very transactional as opposed to transformational, and it certainly wasn't in alignment and integrity with my highest self. I knew something inside of me wanted to come alive, but when I tried to shine, sexism, gender roles, and society's expectations dimmed my light, made me feel isolated, misunderstood, and even punished. I think about that and how many of us felt that way. But it took me understanding what I was feeling. I could feel that there was something wrong, but I couldn't pinpoint what was happening. But I could feel it in my body and my emotions. But it took the crisis of COVID and the forced pause that COVID created for me to begin a massive transformation, to shed my protective shell and to find my true self in the midst of all of this. I shed my business, my marriage of 33 years, and even began exploring my sexuality. When I truly learned to love myself, my business and my personal life began to expand in a way that allowed me to impact so many more. My personal journey, my transformation began on June 3rd, 2020. I was working from home due to COVID, as many of us were. The news cycle was consumed with civil unrest following the murders of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd. I opened my email, my laptop that morning, and there was an unexpected and threatening email. It was from a large investor in the winery group that I was president of and an owner in. It was sent to the 4 members of our executive team, myself and 3 men, but it was only addressed to me. And it said, "Dear Jill, how dare you post in support of Black Lives Matter? This political post will damage me personally and professionally, and if you don't take it down, I will ask for your resignation. And if that doesn't work, I will hire attorneys to sue our own company." We had a diversity of investors and employees and customers, so putting the post up was the right thing to do, and I was proud to lead our effort on this important topic. The week that followed was a challenging one. While we were praised by wine bloggers for being out in front and taking a leadership position, we lost customers, and our investor continued to demand that the post be taken down, that I resign, and that our board meet. Our board did meet. We decided and determined that we would keep the post up, but they voted that we would never use our voice again or our platform on any social issues. I was the only dissenting vote. And that email got me asking, as a leader, what else could I do in the wine industry to be part of the solutions I want to see? See, it's my nature when things get tough to find solutions and to get into action. My voice has always been instrumental to my success. I was a catcher at the University of California at Berkeley, go Bears. And I was brought up in a Jewish family and taught the principle of tikkun olam, which is to repair the world and leave it better than you found it. I've been on the front line of many racial and social justice fights. So using my voice wasn't new to me, but I had become tamed in an industry steeped in tradition and dominated by men. I had lost my voice, and the dis-ease in my body was palpable, and I had normalized it. I thought this is what it means when you're a leader and when you're owner of a business. This experience, it led me to reach out to Dr. Brenda Wade. Many of you actually probably know her, yes. And Dr. Brenda Wade is a psychologist, a life coach, but many of you may not know she's a former hard-brain scientist. And I reached out to her to discuss the struggle that I was experiencing. And when I told her about the pain in my heart and my stomach and the tightness in my throat, she shared with me the science that substantiates our three legitimate brains, our head, heart, and gut. And then it was clear that the dis-ease in my body, it was my heart and my gut communicating with me. My physical manifestations were clear signs that I was out of alignment and integrity. As leaders, we need to pause and pay attention to these signs and see them as a wake-up call. We need to pay attention, and there's value in questioning old operating systems, the ones that say that brilliance only comes from using your head and your head only. We all know how powerful intuition is, especially the women in this room. And if we want to be healthier as leaders and organizations and communities, we have to include our heart. And it was this understanding that led me to rethink and question everything in my personal and professional life. I began to see major gaps in my thinking because I was leaving my heart and my gut at the door on most days in my old company. And in my opinion, those are the best part of me. And when I started to check in with my head and my heart and my gut so that I could be in full alignment and integrity with the best part of myself and what I call full capacity thinking, that informed my decision to leave my old company and to start Teneral Cellars, a new wine brand that would represent the industry's largest customer, which is women. I launched Teneral Cellars October 1st of 2020 as a women-owned and run wine company on a mission to reshape the wine industry to reflect its largest customer, women. We are mission-based, and we are harnessing the power of business for good and using wine as a conduit for change and donate 10% of all profits back to organizations that empower women and fight for gender and racial justice. Thank you. Thank you. The dragonfly is our logo, and it reminds us to be the light, and it's a symbol of transformation. And the word Teneral is when a dragonfly comes out of its cast, and it's in its most vulnerable state. Its wings are colorless, and it can't fly. But within a few days, it gets its full colors in its wings, spreads its wings, and takes off with amazing power and grace, or grit and grace. To me, that represents women and all those, how do we say it? What's the word? And all those who have historically been excluded. We all have that power within us. We just have to claim our power, spread our wings, and fly. And I was that vulnerable dragonfly. I was stuck in a position leaving the best part of myself at the door on most days. But when I began to tap into my three brains, my head, my heart, and gut, and tap into full capacity thinking, I was operating the best version of myself. And I knew when I did that I could achieve my personal and professional mission of elevating women and inspiring change. So after starting Teneral Cellars, I was feeling amazing. I was operating at my highest level. I thought I had made it. I had arrived. My throat wasn't hurting anymore because I was speaking my truth, and the ongoing pain in my heart and my stomach had dissipated. But little did I know, I was just in the nymph phase of the dragonfly. The nymph stage is the longest stage in the life of a dragonfly and is spent entirely underwater. A dragonfly can molt up to 14 times, which is to shed its protective shell to make way for a new growth. So when I checked in with my head, heart, and gut, I knew there was more growth coming. And it was at that time, in early January 2023, that I met Jen and Tim. And later in that month, I had my day to breathe. And when I said yes to a day to breathe, I said yes to the pause. I said yes to me. And I said yes to the possibilities of learning how to be a more impactful leader. Amy Cogé was my leader for my day to breathe. And she really helped me tune into where I was in my transformational journey, to help me focus and to recenter and to gain clarity of where I was and what the work was that I still needed to do to find my true self. I lead with my heart, but after a Reiki session with Amy, my heart opened up even wider. And it really allowed me to have even more clarity and more focus. I left my day to breathe with so much energy and confidence, and I knew exactly what I needed to do to be more impactful. My day to breathe experience is present with me every day, especially during my morning wellness practice. And it reminds me to pause and check in with my head, my heart, and my gut, so that not only can I continue my own journey of healing from the inside out, but also I could be the best version of myself. Since my day to breathe, I realized that everything is energy. Everything is energy. And when we tap into our head, heart, and gut, all three brains, we're in alignment. And that alignment creates an incredible magnetic energy, like the hurricane that Tim referred to, or the dragonfly. I am that powerful and graceful dragonfly. And I have now been attracting the most beautiful resources around me so that every day my life is with intention and purpose. Since my day to breathe, I have continued to molt, to transform, and to evolve. My business has grown exponentially because I have been attracting the right resources and people. I shed my marriage of 33 years because it wasn't serving me. And I have learned to truly love myself. And most importantly to me, I have manifested the most extraordinary love with my business and my life partner, Lisa Orell. Together, these moments of transformation and stillness, they show us how beauty can emerge from upheaval, and emphasizes that growth often requires that we navigate through the storm, through the hurricane. My day to breathe and my personal and leadership journey has taught me the power of the pause so that I could be the best version of myself and so that I could be the transformational leader I know I was meant to be. Thank you.